Okay. Suki Hantu, dear Dharma friends. First of all, I would like to thank Brother T for your kind introduction. Here, I also wish to express my special thanks to Brother Casey Lee, whom one of your teacher earlier on, for having introduced me to MBE, and also to Brother T for your kind assistance in preparing me for this Zoom class. And not forgetting my gratitude also to Brother Ananda Fong for his guidance. He taught us at Nalanda Institute and Bapu Diploma course. Okay, so his previous excellent presentations were a great help to me in putting together my presentation. And indeed, it is a privilege, to have studied under his leadership. Okay, so let us begin our class. And the contents of our class today will be, the origin of the Sangha. And then we're going to touch base on what is the Sangha. And under this header, there's subsection under the header of after the Buddha's enlightenment, what happened? And then the recollection of the Sangha. Then we're going to discuss about the two kinds of Sangha, the Chatuparisa, the fourfold assembly, the 4 stages of awakening, the monastic Sangha and the creation of the noble Sangha, the foundation of the Sangha, and the 9 supreme attributes of the Sangha. Okay. So we're going to look at the origin of the Sangha. So I'm going to fast forward from what you have learned from Sister Jane Pang, I believe, the life of a Buddha. So we're going to fast forward from the time after Brahma Sahampati invitation to Prince Siddhartha at Bodh Gaya, or rather the Buddha after his enlightenment. So we're going to start here. So after Brahma Sahampati invitation at Bodh Gaya, on the 50th day after his enlightenment, his supernormal vision, he perceived that his 8 companions, the 5 ascetics, were residing in Deer Park and Isipatthana, near Benares, that's modern Varanasi. The Buddha proceeded there to expound the Dharma to his 5 ascetic companions, namely Kondanya, Badiya, Wapa, Mahanama, and Asaji of the Brahman clan. So this is where the location, the Bodh Gaya in this map. The Varanasi is located not too far from Bodh Gaya. Right, so at this point, I would like to point out to you at the footnote. If you look at the bottom, Sarnath is also referred to as Sarangat, Isipatthana, Rishipatthana, Mikadaya, or Mikadaya, is a place located 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles northeast of Varanasi, near the confluence of the Ganges and the Varuna rivers in Uttar Pradesh, India. Now, the term Isi in Pali and Rishi in Sanskrit refer to an accomplished and enlightened person. Isipatthana and Rishipatthana, right, therefore translate to the place where holy men descended, or the hill of the fallen sages. So in Pali, Isi means seer or sage, and Patthana means fall or falling, flying down, or landing. So this is just a side note for you to know. Now, point B, the Buddha arrived at the Deer Park in Isipatthana on the full moon day of Asaha, 2 months after Vesakha, and delivered his first discourse. Incidentally, the month of Asaha is this month, July. The Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, SN 56.11, or setting the wheel of Dharma in motion. Okay. Hearing this, the Devas and Brahmas of all the other planes also raised the same joyous cry. The light of the Dharma illuminated the whole world and brought peace and happiness to all beings. Then the Blessed One uttered this paean of joy. Anasi vatabo kondanyo. Anasi vatabo kondanyo ti, which means verily Kondana has realized. Verily Kondana has realized. Realized what? He realized the Four Noble Truths. Therefore, Venerable Kondana was named Anatta Kondana. Anatta means no, known or realized. So that's why his name called Anatta Kondana. The Buddha said, Anatta Kondana, he knows. From the beginning, the Buddha the Buddha cautioned them to avoid the two extremes of self-indulgence, kama sukali kanu yoga, and self-mortification, atta kalimata nu yoga, as both do not lead to perfect peace and enlightenment. The former retards one's spiritual progress, and the latter weakens one's intellect. So the Buddha says that he, Tathagata, realizing the error of both these two extremes, followed a middle path. So this new path or way was discovered by himself, known as Majjhima Patipada, the middle way. What is the middle way? The Buddha replies, it is the Noble Eightfold Path, or in Pali, Arya Atangika Magga, and expounded the Four Noble Truths, Arya Satya, in detail. So this is the Noble Eightfold Path, which I believe you all have studied this in your early class. So the Buddha then preached his second discourse, the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, in Samyutta Nikaya, SN 22.59, or the discourse of not self-characteristics, hearing which the Venerable Kondana became the first Arahant and the most senior member of the Sangha, and all attained Arahantship. It was Venerable Asaji, one of the five, who converted the great Sariputta, the chief disciple of the Buddha. When the Buddha expounded his teaching, the minds of the group of five bhikkhus were freed of defilements without any attachment. Thereafter, a series of conversions took place after hearing the Dharma from the Buddha, and thus the founding of the order of the Sangha. So Yasaku Laputa, or Yasa, said Puta here is son, so which means the son of Yasa. So in short, we call him Yasa. A son of a millionaire, attained Sotapatti, stream entry, and later became an Arahant. His father became the first male disciple, Upasaka, and his mother and his former wife also became the first two lay women disciples, Upasika. Okay. The Venerable Yasa had 54 friends. Hearing of the Venerable Yasa's conversion, they also wished to enter the order, and they all attained Arahantship thereafter. Hence, the first 60 Arahants, excluding the Buddha in this world, set up for disseminating the Buddha's teaching. So this is a short recap from your previous. At Uruvela, there lived three matted hair Jatila ascetic known as Uruvela Kassapa, Nadi Kassapa, and Gaya Kassapa. They were all brothers living separately with 500, 300, and 200 disciples respectively. They also entered the order and obtained the higher ordination. Two young spiritual seekers named Upatissa and Kolita, having met Arahant Asaji, entered the Buddha's order. Both destined to become the two chief disciples of the Buddha, and they attained Arahantship and known as Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana, respectively. So thus, the socialization of Buddhism among spiritual and higher class continued. So what is the Sangha? So after the Buddha's enlightenment, this is just a quick recap. So the Buddha arrived at the deer park in Isipatthana on the full moon day of Al-Saha, 2 months after Vesaka, and delivered his first discourse, the Dhammacakkavatthana Sutta, right? And then here is Kondana gained eye of truth, Dhammacakku, or the Dhamma eye, as the first glimpse of Nibbana. So Kondana asked the Buddha for ordination and was admitted as a bhikkhu, becoming the first member of the Sangha, or the Buddhist order of monks. As until that time, there had appeared in the world only the Buddha and the Dhamma. This event marks the completion of the triple end of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. It was the arising of the first member of the Sangha, that is Kondana, who since then became known as Anatta Kondana, was the first man to see the truth after the Buddha, and also the first he entered as a bhikkhu. So, recollection of Sangha, Sanghanussati. Sangha, as you know, come from the word Sangha. Anusati is recollection. So the Pali word Sangha means a congregation, an order, fraternity, and according to Visuddhimagga, the members possess in common virtual and right view. There must be a minimum of 4 ordained monks who follow the 227 monastic rules laid down by the Buddha. There are 2 kinds of Sangha, namely the noble Sangha or the Arya Sangha. Arya means noble, and conventional Sangha, Samuti Sangha. So Samuti, conventional. Sanghanussati as a subject of meditation, just like the Sangha refuge, is confined only to the Arya Sangha, whereby one recollects the 9 virtues of this noble order to establish mindfulness. The manner of recollection is similar to the recollection of the Buddha, but here one recites the 9 virtues of the Sangha as follows. Now, this is the Sangha Vandana in Pali and the translation in English. We will go through this later on in the slides that I'm going to present you later. But in brief, the Sangha Vandana is Supatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Ujupatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Naya Patipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Samichipatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yugani, Atta Purisa Pugala, Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, Ahuneyo, Dakineyo, Anjali Karaniyo, Anuttara Punya Ketam Lokasati. So we're going to go through this in English later on. So refer to point 2.7 for the details. So what is Arya Sangha and Samuti Sangha? Arya Sangha in English we call Noble Sangha. So the Arya Sangha, they are of truly civilized people, is formed of 4 types of persons who are the 4 different stages of development, all levels of insight into the truth. They came into existence 2 months after the Buddha's enlightenment, on the 5th wedding day of Vasa, after all the 5 ascetics were ordained. The Arya Sangha, whose qualities are to be reflected upon, consists of those disciples who have successfully completed the Buddhist spiritual path of liberation, or have entered the path. If they have entered the path, they can only be referred as Arya Sangha or the Noble Sangha. So what does the Samuti Sangha then? They are known as the conventional Sangha. The Samuti Sangha of bhikkhus, on the other hand, simply consists of the 4 or more monks. Conventional Sangha or institutional Sangha, the noble or ordinary, they still possess all 10 fetters that bind them to the rounds of rebirth, but would always strive to reach the noble state. The Samyutti Sangha include the Buddhist monks and nuns who have renounced the domestic life to cultivate the Buddhist path of liberation, and they reside mostly in the Buddhist monastery. So don't forget, they still possess all the 10 fetters that bind them to the rounds of rebirth. As compared to the Arya Sangha, they have completed the spiritual path and liberation to enter the path. So we will look at this in more detail. So the 2 kinds of Sangha. The Sangha originated in a group of disciples who renounced the worldly life to wander the Buddha and listen to his teachings. So after the Buddha's death, his disciples continued to live together as a community, wandering from place to place, living off the receipt of alms. So go around, taking alms. The word Sangha is a Sanskrit term that means community or assembly, and which is used primarily to refer to the Buddha's ordained followers, who are known in Pali as bhikkhu, and bhikkhunis. The term bhikkhu is translated as monk, fully ordained monk, mendicant, or literally as a beggar. and was used because the ordained community was supposed to renounce most of the material goods and wander from place to place, depending upon the others for food. So this is a very nice picture rendering of the Buddha, right? Expounding to the bhikkhus, it says, "Go forth, O bhikkhus, for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion of the world, for the benefit, for the good, for the happiness of gods and men." So according to the Visuddhimagga, right, so the members possess in common virtue and right view, right? So this is very important. Huh? The common possess virtue and right view. There must be a minimum of 4 ordained monks who follow the 227 monastic rules laid down by the Buddha. Now, traditionally, the Sangha is composed of the 4 groups, right? Which is comprising of the bhikkhu, the monks, bhikkhuni, the nuns, upasaka, the layman, and upasika, the laywoman. So the Sangha is part, together with the Buddha and the Dhamma, the Dhamma referring to the teaching of the Triple Gem, the Tiratana, also known as the Threefold Refuge or Three Jewels, basic creed. The 2 kinds of Sangha should be distinguished, namely the Savaka Sangha, or the community of the noble disciples, also called the Arya Sangha or the Noble Sangha, and the Bhikkhu Sangha, or the community of bhikkhus or monks, also called the Sammiti Sangha or the conventional Sangha. So when Kondana gained the eye of truth, the Dhammachakku, he became the first member of the Noble Sangha. When he was ordained bhikkhu, he became the first member of the conventional Sangha. Thus, the event of the first sermon marks the beginning both the Noble Sangha of disciples and the conventional Sangha of monks. So the Chatuparisa, the fourfold assembly. According to the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the last days of the Buddha in the Digha Nikaya 16, the Buddha proclaimed that he would not pass away until he had established members of each of the 4 assemblies in being wise, well-trained, and self-confident. So in Pali, Viyata, Vinyata, Visarada. So this passage makes it unmistakably clear that an essential foundation for the Buddha's mission of teaching the Dharma was that monks, or the bhikkhu, as well as the nuns, the bhikkhunis, and male to female lay disciples, the upasaka and the upasika, are wise and well-trained, and that they are also self-confident. Right? So this is gathered in the Pasadika Sutta, the inspiring discourse in DN 29. So according to Lokana Sutta, the marks of a great man, DN 30, the wheel marks of souls of the Buddha feet, foretold his destiny of being surrounded by these 4 assemblies. So this makes possession of the 4 assemblies as integral, in fact indispensable aspect of the Buddha's ministry. So as you can see from here, right, this is the monastic, the bhikkhus, the bhikkhunis, the laities. Right? So these 4 form the essential foundation of the Buddha's mission of teaching the Dharma. Right? So this forms the fourfold assembly. A discourse in the Anuttara Nikaya highlights the rather unfortunate condition of being reborn in a border country, right? A border country, which is a country where the 4 assemblies of the Buddhist disciples cannot be found. So you can read about this in AN. Now this is the Antanussata and the lost opportunities. So I have found out, this is the old code. The new one is in AN 8.29. So you want to read about the border country, right? And the Buddha says that it is very unfortunate if people are born in the border country, there will not be any 4 assemblies. So Dhamma would not be taught there. Right? It's not visible. So the 4 stages of awakening. In the Patama Attapugala Sutta, or refers to the 8 people in the Anguttara Nikaya 8.59. The Buddha has described the Arya Sangha as follows. And it says, monks, there are these 8 individuals who are worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of referential salutation, the unsurpassed field of merit for the world. Which 8? The one who has entered the stream. Now, what is the stream? Right? The stream here refers to the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? The one who has entered the stream, the one who has entered upon the course of the realization of the fruit of the stream entry. Right? So he's entered the path and he has attained the fruit of the stream entry. And so goes to the once returner, the one who has entered upon the course of the realization of the fruit of one's returning, and then the non-returner, the one who has entered upon the course for the realization of the fruit of non-returning, and the Arahant, the one who has entered upon the course of Arahantship. Right? So you will see later on what this means. So the Noble Sangha, the Arya Sangha, consists of these 8 types of noble person who are joined into 4 pairs in relation to the 4 stages of awakening. So to sum up, there are 4 noble individuals. The Arya Pugala, right? The Arya means the noble, Pugala means individuals. So Arya Pugala. The stream enterer, or sometimes referred as stream winner, Sotapanna, the once returner, Sakadagami, and the non-returner, Anagami, and the worthy one, right? Arahant. So the 8 noble persons are those who have realized one of the 8 stages of holiness. That is the 4 super-mundane paths, or call it the Magga. Magga means path. And the 4 super-mundane friction, right? Pala means friction of this path. So the 8 noble persons are those who have realized one of the 8 stages of holiness, the 4 super-mundane paths, and the 4 super-mundane friction of this path. There are 4 pairs. Okay, now you can see clearer in this chart. So the 4 types of person who form the noble Arya Sangha are namely, right, as I mentioned earlier, the Sotapanna, or stream enterers or winners. And these are who have entered the stream leading to the Nibbana. So what does it mean that enter the stream? So meaning to say that they have already entered the stream by knowing the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? So they know the Eightfold Path and they're practicing, right, and following the path of what the Buddha have taught them. The Sakadagami, or once returner, and those who will return only once more to the vicissitude of this world. The Anagami, or non-returners, those who will never come again to the dubious conditions of this world. The Arahanta, or the worthy ones, those who have achieved the ideal of perfection and attained to the goal of Nibbana. So if you can see from this chart, right? So when we say there are 4 pairs, or the 8 individuals, and this is how it works, right? You see here, the one realizing the path of stream entry is called Sotapati Magga. The Magga here means the path. And the one realizing the friction of stream winning, Sotapati Pala. So the Pala is the friction. So what does mean? Sometimes as a beginner, we may get very confused about this. What do you mean by 4 pairs and 8 individuals? And we do chant this, in the Vardhana. So when you realize this, the one who realized the path, who already know the Noble Eightfold Path. And then after knowing the Noble Eightfold Path, what do? You need to, right, practice, or you train. So the one who is training, right, to get to the goal, right, to get to the fruition. And once you have realized the fruit, then you are the person who realized the fruition of stream entry. And that is called the Sotapatipala. And so this system, right, and this system is the same or similar to the rest of the 4 stages of person, right? The one realizing the path of one's returning, and the one realizing the fruition of one's returning, and then the one realizing the path of non-return, and the one realizing the fruition of non-return, and lastly, the one realizing the path of holiness, right, the Arahant, and the one realizing the fruition of the holiness. So this is the final, right? So this is the first four pairs. So now let's look deeper and understand what are the four stages of awakening or enlightenment. And these are distinguished by the fetters. And the fetters in Pali is called Sangyojana. If you see an M with the diacritic dot here, you pronounce as Sang, as in Sang. So not Sam, it's Sangyojana, Sangyojana. That they eliminate and the number of rebirths that remain for those who attain them. Right? You may be familiar on this, but nevertheless, let us go through this. Right? So what are the 5 lower factors and the 5 higher factors? Right? So the first, as you can see from here, Sotapanna, right? Sotapanna, they will have to eliminate the 5 lower factors first. Okay, so the 5 lower factors are Sakaya Ditti. Sakaya Ditti, I'm sure you heard about that. It refers to individuality view, which means the identity view of a self. It's like I, me, or mine. Right? So you have to eliminate these factors, the identity view. So the next one is called Vichikicha. Vichikicha is skeptical doubt, right? Doubt about the Dhamma. And then the attachments to rites and rituals is called Sila Bhatta, right? Sila Bhatta Paramasa, right? So if you see an A here with a diacritic long A, you pronounce it R, Vichikicha, right? So if you don't see a diacritic up here, it is a long A, so you pronounce it Sila Bhatta Paramasa, not Sa, Masa. So that's how they pronounce in Pali. So I'm not an expert in Pali, but the basic one I should be able to explain. And also, the next one, the Sotapanna, okay, they have to eliminate these 3. And then the Sakadagami, right? Later we will show you some slides. You have, as a Sakadagami, they will include 2 more fetters. That is the sensual desire, Kamachanda, and Vyapada, sensual desire and ill will. But the rest of the 4 stages, they have to eliminate the 5 lowest as well as the 5 higher factors, right? So lust for form, Rupa Raga, lust for formless, Arupa Raga, conceit, Mana, restlessness, Uddhacca, and ignorance, Avijja. So this is another chart which shows you quite distinctly the 4 planes of liberation according to the Sutta Pitaka. So you digest about this, and this is a source I gather from Venerable Nana Moli and Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. Okay, so you can see from here the stages fruits, the stream enterer. The stream enterer will abandon the 5 lower factors: identity view, doubt in the Buddha, ascetic order, ritual rules. Whereas the once returner, also the 3 lower factors, including the 2 lower, once returner, also these 3 factors, but their distinction is much heavier than the stream enterer. Whereas for a non-returner abandons the 3 lower factors plus the 2 other lower factors, which is the sensual desire and ill will. So as you can see from this chart, so very clearly. So, and then here, stream enterer means that the rebirth is up to 7 rebirths in human or heavenly realms, whereas a once returner is once more as a human. A non-returner, once more in heavenly realm in the pure abodes. Then when you come to Arahant, the Arahant has to abandon all the 5 lower factors plus the 5 higher factors. And what are the 5 higher fetters? Right? So they include the identity view, doubt in the Buddha, ascetic or rituals, essential desire, ill will, and then material rebirth desire, right? This is then the immaterial rebirth desire, the conceit, the restlessness, and ignorance. So this is the same chart as this, but this gives you a clearer picture, right? In case you need to have a quick reference of how these 4 planes of liberation. Now let's go individually on each of the 4 stages of awakening. To start off with, the stream enterer, Sotapanna. So Sotapanna, as you can see from here, the 3 lower factors. So with the destruction of the 3 lower factors, the stream enterer or the Sotapanna has achieved perfection in morality and has abandoned the 3 factors of self-illusion, identity or individuality view of self-identity, uncertainty, and clinging to a mere rules and rituals. So uncertainty means doubt, right? Mere rules and rituals means rites and rituals. So they have to achieve this perfection in morality. Now here, perfection in morality, you find in the Noble Eightfold Path, right? The Sila is morality. So we're going to discuss that in a short while. So, but Sotapanna, literally meaning one who enters the stream. The stream in Pali means sotas, right? The stream. What is the stream? Right? The stream meaning the supermundane Noble Eightfold Path regarding the highest Dhamma. Right? The Sotapanna is also said to have opened the eye of the Dhamma Chakku. A Sotapanna reaches arahantship within 7 rebirths upon opening the eye of the Dhamma. Because the Sotapanna has attained the intuitive grasp of Buddhist doctrine, right, the Samadhi, right? So remember the Noble Eightfold Path, we start off with right view, right? Samadhi. Right view is the utmost important one because the Sotapanna has attained the intuitive grasp of this right view and has complete confidence or saddha in the 3 jewels, confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And the Sotapanna has proved the volitional formation, the sankhara, that force rebirth in lower planes. What does it mean here? It means to say that if you have attained stream enterer, you are guaranteed that you will not be reborn in any of the lower plane, lower than the human, right? So you would not, a Sotapanna would not be reborn in an animal or hungry ghost or in hell. You will be reborn in a higher realm. Okay, so if this is just a brief description of a stream enterer. So if you are requested to write anything or explain what is a stream enterer, this will be a short little description, right? So do remember this, right? And this is a good chance for you, right, to remember what to write. So now let's look at the next one, which is a once returner. So the once returner, again, right, with the destruction of the 3 fetters and the additional diminishing of the essential desire, right? Did I miss one? Yeah, okay. Essential desire and ill will correspond to greed, hatred, and delusion. One becomes a one returner, right? Sakadagami. Sakadagami literally means one who wants, right? Skim means wants. Comes means agachati from this word. So Sakadagami, right? Sakadagami will at most return to the realm of the senses, the lowest being the human and the highest being the devas, wielding power over the creation of others one more time. Right? So again, this is simply named as one returner. So both the Sotapanna and the Sakadagami have abandoned the first 3 fetters. The Sotapanna and Sakadagami are distinguished by the fact that the Sakadagami has weakened, right? Has weakened lust, hate, and delusion to a greater degree. Now, this statement here says that as a Sotapanna has also weakened this last hate and delusion. Remember, Loba dosa moha, but a Sakadagami has further weakened. Right? So they have further weakened to a greater degree compared to a Sotapanna. So then a non-returner. So you can see here all the same color now, the 5 lower factors. So with the destruction of all 5 lower factors, the disciple becomes a non-returner, or is known as anagami, who takes spontaneous rebirth in the form realm, usually in a special region called the pure abodes, right? And attains final nibbana, right? There without returning from that world. So the anagami has achieved perfection in mental discipline and further eradicated the fetters of sensual lust and ill will. Just now we talk about the loba doha dosa from these the Sotapanna and Sakadagami. But this anagami, right, has actually achieved perfection, right? Perfection in the mental discipline that further eradicates all the 3 evil roots. Anagami literally means one who does not, right? An here means the negation. Kam agachati. So the anagami means having overcome sensuality. So anagami, having overcome sensuality, does not return to the human world or any unfortunate world lower than that after death. So instead, the anagami are reborn in one of the 5 special worlds in Rupa Dhatu called the Sudhavasa world, or the pure abodes, and there attain Nibbana. So from there, the heavenly world, so they went to the pure abodes, the heavenly world, and there attain Nibbana. As you know, in Buddhist cosmology, we have 31 planes of existence. So the pure abodes have got many levels as well. So depending on how great your merits, if you're an anagami, then you will surely be in one of the pure abodes. And from there, you attain Nibbana. Some of them are reborn a second time in the higher world of the pure abodes. Okay, so these again are the 5 lower factors. So we have to remember what are those 5 lower factors, right? So if you can't remember the Pali, it's okay, but do remember the English, the identity view, the skeptical doubt, attachment to the rites and rituals, sensual desire, and ill will. So lastly, the Arahant, the worthy one, right? Now, with the complete destruction of the taints, the cankers, the defilements, many types of description here, the disciple becomes an arahant, the worthy one, a fully liberated one. The arahant has achieved perfection in wisdom and put an end to 5 more fetters. Right? So these are the 5 more fetters, the 5 higher fetters, namely attachment to fine material existence, right? So we call lust for form, right? In other words, the fine material existence, rupa raga. Attachment to immaterial existence, lust for formless. Immaterial means formless, right? Or raga. You put an R in front of rupa, R is a negation, so it's an immaterial. Formless. This is form, and this is formless. Arupa is formless. Conceit is mana, right? Conceit here is like I, me, or mine. So it often refers to I, me, mine. Conceit, mana. And ignorance. With ignorance, like here, we can call it as vicca. Right? So avijja is also one of the 12 links of dependent origination. It all started with ignorance. This is avijja. Right? So Arahant is a fully awakened person. They have abandoned all the 10 fetters, and upon death, parinibbana, will never be reborn in any plane or world, having wholly escaped samsara. So an Arahant has attained awakening by following the path given by the Buddha. In Theravada Buddhism, the term Buddha is reserved for ones who self-enlightened, such as Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, who discovered path by himself. So now, what does the Dharma eye see and when it arises? If you see any black box here, which means I have given you some additional information for your reference. So what does the Dharma eye see when it arises? Okay, in the famous story where Upatissa, before he became the chief disciples of the Buddha, right, or Venerable Sariputta, that Upatissa, his birth name, who at that point is a wanderer in another sect, gains the Dhamma eye when hearing the following verse from Venerable Asaji. Right? So there's Venerable Asaji and Venerable Sariputta. And then again, when Kolita Moganana, his best friend, in turn gains the Dhamma eye after hearing the verse from Upatissa or Sariputta. So what was the verse? Right? Venerable Asaji said, whatever phenomena arise from cause, their cause and the cessation, such is the teaching of the Tathagata, the great contemplative. What this short story teaching has in common with the Four Noble Truths is the notion of causation, or the origination means cause and its relationship to cessation. The formula for the Dharma eye is sometimes followed by a description of its impact. In the case of Sariputta and Moggallana, it takes in the form of a poem. Right? This poem is in Pali, and let's look at the one in English. So Venerable Asaji says, this is the one. The poem for Sariputta, just this Dhamma, just this much, and you experience the sorrowless state, unseen, neglected, for many 10,000 of eons. And you can get this from the Mahavagga in verse 1.23.5. So in this case, the emphasis is on attaining to a sorrowless state, one of the attributes of the goal of the noble search. Right, so you can read about this at your own later on. In the part of stream entry with the arising of Dhamma eye, insight in the causal principles underlying the arising and cessation of suffering or stress has the function of cutting off the first factors binding to samsara. On one occasion, the Buddha was living at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Ananda Pindika's park. There he addressed the monks, the bhikkhus, and said, Bhikkhus, I say that the destruction of the taints is for one who knows and sees, one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know and see. Who knows and see what? Wise attention and unwise attention. When one attends unwisely, unarisen taints arise, and unarisen taints increase. When one attends wisely, unarisen taints do not arise, and arisen taints are abandoned. So this you can get from Sabha Sabha Sutta, or the taints in Majjhima Nikaya by MN2. In summary, the Buddha taught the monks how to remove the taints. The taints in Pali is called asava, which are mental defilements. So when we call asava, they are mental defilements that prevents one from liberation. He taught them how some taints are removed by seeing, by restraining, by using, by enduring, by avoiding, by removing, by developing. So only when taints, the asava, are removed, that one can end samsara. So the four factors of stream entry that a stream enterer possesses. Here, a householder, Nandapindika, a noble disciples, remember he was the first lay disciple. So the four factors, very important, as a stream enterer. One must have an unwavering confidence in the Buddha. One must have unwavering confidence in the Dhamma, wavering confidence in the Sangha, and the virtuous behavior loved by the noble ones, unbroken, flawless, unblemished, blotched, free, praised by the wise, untarnished, leading to the concentration. So these are the 4 factors of stream entry that he possessed. So if a question asks what are the 4 factors of stream entry, this will be a short answer to that. So the 4 factors of stream entry, right? What are the 4 factors of stream entry that they've attained? It is when a noble disciple has experiential confidence in the Buddha. So, in essence, the Blessed One is perfected. So, what do you mean by confidence in the Buddha? Right? It explained the Blessed One is perfected, fully awakened Buddha, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, holy knower of the world, supreme guide for those who wish to train, of gods and humans awakened and blessed. Right? So you can get this from the Vandana. Remember the Itipiso Bhagava Arhan? This is where it comes from. So they have experiential confidence in teaching the Dharma. Right? So again, same thing. So after when you recite Itipiso Bhagava, then you also recite the Swakato Bhagavato Dhammo. Remember this? And then after that, the Sangha. Right? So I'm not going to go through this. Right? So then a noble disciple, ethical conduct is loved by the noble ones, as mentioned just now. So when a noble disciple has quelled these 5 dangers, precepts in the suttas and threats, and has these 4 factors of stream entry, they may, if they wish, declare of themselves, I have finished with rebirth in hell, the animal realm, and the ghost realm. I have finished with all places of loss, bad places, the underworld. I am a stream enterer. I am not liable to be reborn in the underworld and for awakening. Okay, so factors of stream entry, right? So again, they ask, and what? The Buddha asks, and what, Sariputta, is a factor of stream entry, right? Just now we say the stream, right? So don't confuse the stream and entry. The stream is the noble eightfold path. So now, what is the factor of stream entry? Factor for stream entry. It is when one associates with people of integrity, listening to true Dharma, appropriate attention, and practice in accordance with the Dharma. So this is just a short summary. And let's look at this. So the Buddha said, then Sariputta went up to the Buddha, bowed and sat down to one side. The Buddha said to him, Sariputta, they speak of factor of stream entry. What is the factor of stream entry? Sir, replied Sariputta, the factors of stream entry are associating with good people, listening to true teaching, rational complete application of mind, and practicing in line with the teaching. Then the Buddha replied, good, Sariputta. For the factors of stream entry are associating with good people, listening to the true teaching, rational application of mind, and practicing in line with the teaching. And Sariputta said, Sariputta, they speak. Then the Buddha said, Sariputta, they speak of the stream. What is the stream? Sir, the stream is simply the noble eightfold path. That is, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion, right samadhi, concentration. Good, Sariputta. For the stream is simply this noble eightfold path, right? So, Sariputta, they speak of a stream enterer, right? Stream entry, stream enterer. What is a stream enterer? Anyone who possesses this eightfold path is called a stream enterer, the venerable of such and such name and clan. So, good people, for anyone who possesses this noble eightfold path is called stream enterer. Right? So that explains the difference, the stream entry, the stream enterer. Let's look at the next subheader, the monastic Sangha and the creation of the noble Sangha. Okay. It is the purpose of the Buddha in his conduct for the well-being of the world to teach all people to progress along these lines of development and become Sotapanna, right? Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahanta. So that is the sole purpose of the teaching of the Buddha. Even when the Bhikkhu Sangha had been newly established, and it was then a very small community only consisting of only 60 marks. Remember, the space is only 60 marks. Then the Buddha sent all of his members in all directions to propagate the Dhamma. Right? Remember, the Buddha says, don't go two ways. I go separate ways. You go this way and I go this way. So everybody go separate ways, so that you can reach and you can teach the Dhamma to a wider audience. So the community was then only 3 months old. Right? Remember, after the awakening of the Buddha, it's only 3 months old. Right? Then we have only 60 monks. Here, the spirit of acting for the good of the people is strongly evident. Right? So the words of the Buddha in sending out this disciple at that time reflects very well the ideal of erecting the world noble Sangha. In the Buddha's own words, this is in the Vinaya. Vinaya is the Vinaya rules 1.21. Right? The Buddha said, just now I repeat again, go forth, O bhikkhus, for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world, for the benefit, for the good, for the happiness of gods and men. So in short, the Bhikkhu Sangha has been set up both as the instrument and as the starting point and the stronghold for working out the idea of establishing the universal Sangha with the main function of teaching all people, regardless of caste, class, sect, and nationality, the Dhamma that will help them in their self-development to become Arya, right? Noble or truly civilized. And it is for this reason that the conventional Sangha of monks are founded. So the monks thus led the people in creating the universal community of noble, enlightened, and truly civilized people. So now the foundations of Sangha. So in the Buddha time, Buddhism was originally called this Dhamma and Vinaya, right? Dhamma and Vinaya, not Buddhism. The doctrine and the discipline. It is also indicates the Dhamma and the Vinaya are the two limbs, both hands, that form Buddhism. This concept is in direct connection with the two kinds of Sangha. So now, let's look at the conventional Sangha, Sammutti Sangha. The conventional Sangha of monks depends for its existence and stability on the Vinaya. It is the Vinaya that gives life to the Bhikkhu Sangha. Person is ordained a Bhikkhu or is admitted to the Sangha of monks in accordance to the rules of the Vinaya. His Bhikkhu titleship also ceases if he makes an incurable transgression against the Vinaya. Right? So once he transgress, right, immediately his titleship, right, will also cease. He's no longer become a bhikkhu. The rules of the Vinaya governs all activities of the community. The rules of the Vinaya governs all activities of the community of monks and all aspects of the bhikkhu's life. So the Buddhist monks or bhikkhus are graded according to concrete disciplinary rules. So how many rules? For monks, 227. Okay, a bhikkhu is classed as a navaka or a newly ordained one. If he has admitted to the order for not more than 5 years and he is required to live in nisaya or dependence on an acharya or a teacher, that is, he is dependent. As soon as his years of standing in the monkhood exceeded 5, he becomes freed of the dependence and is classed as a Nisaya Muttaka or an independent monk. So when he completes the 10 years of standing in the monkhood, he becomes a Thera or an elder. Now, if he qualified, he can act as an Upajjhaya or a preceptor. As you can see from here, right, so these are the grading. The graded as the first is a Navaka. Then he progressed to a Nisaya, under a teacher, Acharya. Then when he is more exceeded 5 years, he become an independent monk, right? So which means no longer required a teacher, Nisaya Muttaka. Then after 10 years, he become a Thera, and then can teach. He become a preceptor called Upajjhaya. So that is the graded disciplinary rules. Rights and privileges are vested on the monks on equal terms according to the rules of the Vinaya. So the noble Sangha, the Arya Sangha of disciplines, on the other hand, is based on the Dhamma, while the Vinaya governs the external life of a monk, his bodily and verbal activities and his social relations with others. His inner spiritual side is guided by the Dhamma. Not only the monks, but all people are expected to follow the guidance of the Dhamma. In contrast to the formal admittance to membership in the conventional Sangha of monks, right? Membership in the noble Sangha of discipline is a matter of self-development and inner attainment. As soon as a person, whether a monk or a lay person, realizes the Four Noble Truths and gains the first vision of Nibbana, he automatically becomes a Sotapanna and simultaneously a member of the Noble Sangha of discipline. His further progress on the path up to the final goal is graded solely according to the degree of his self-development and inner attainment, without the intervention of any external factors, whether age, sex, authority, or even time or space. Thus, a novice, 12 years of age, may be an arahant, while an aged monk, 70 years, may be only a worldling, not attending even Sotapanaship. And a wise layman might achieve arahantship in a period of an hour, while many monks may strive in vain throughout their lives to secure the same. Right? So it is not by seniority, right? It is by the degree of the attainment. As the Buddha says in the Dhammapada, he who, though dressed in fine apparel, exercises tranquility, is calm, controlled, certain, and chaste, and has ceased to injure all other beings, he indeed is the Brahman, a Samana, or a Bhikkhu. This is in Dhammapada verse 142. Those members of the Noble Sangha who are far advanced on the path or have reached the summit will find the Bhikkhu Sangha the best community for them to live in, and it is these people who will best preserve the conventional Sangha or Sammuti Sangha of monks and will act as Kalyana Mita, or good spiritual friends, to those who are treading path after them. So now, the 9 supreme virtues of the Sangha. Right? So the Sangha, being endowed with 9 supreme virtues, attributes, should be highly honored and venerated. The Sangha community has the 9 qualities as follows. Now, in this chart, you can see the translation for each of the Pali word. Supatipano. Su is good. When you say su means good, patipano is a conduct. So of good conduct. Bhagavato is referring to the Blessed One. Savaka is the disciple, or in other translation is a hearer or a listener. Right? So he who listens will hear the Dhamma, right? A Savaka, right? Or referring to a disciple. So Sangha, Sangho is community. Right? Sometimes you see, why is it Sangho and Sangha? Sangho here meaning is a singular. Right? So in Pali language, Sangha, it depending on whether it's a singular or plural, right? Whether in what tenses you use. So nevertheless, it is still Sangha. Uju Patipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. So Uju is of right conduct. Right? So Bhagavato is the same. Naya Patipano is of wise conduct. Samichi Patipano is of dutiful conduct. So these are the 4. Right? So of good conduct, how do you translate this? Of good conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. Of upright conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. Of wise conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. of dutiful conduct is the order of the disciple of the Blessed One. Now over here, Yadidan Chattari Purisa Yugani. So Yadidan is this. Chattari means four. Purisa person, pair. Yugani is pair. Atta is 8. Purisa is person. Pugala is individual. Esa here, Bhagavato, the Blessed One. Savaka, again disciple, and Sangha, community. So what does this say here? This order of the disciples of the Blessed One, namely these four pairs of persons, the 8 kinds of individuals. So Ahunio is worthy of offerings. Ahunio is worthy of offerings. Pahunio is worthy of hospitality. Dakinio is worthy of gifts. Anjali Karaniyo is worthy of referential salutations. Anuttarang Punyaketam Lokasaki is incomparable merit field in the world. And so this is how the 9 virtues attributes. Now let's look at individual. But before that, there is one sutta called Anjana Sutta, the thoroughbred, in the AN 8.13. So this is just an extract. A monk endowed with the 8 qualities is worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect, and incomparable field of merit in the world. So which 8? So he is virtuous. He practiced in accordance with Patimokkha. So remember Patimokkha, the Vinaya rules. When given food, whether coarse or refined, he eats it carefully without complaining. He feels disgust at bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, mental misconduct. He is composed and easy to live with and doesn't harass other monks. He is easy to be advised. When in training, he gives rise to the thoughts. He contemplates whether the other monks want to train or not. I'll train here. Follows the Noble Eightfold Path, have strong determination and persistency. Endowed with these 8 qualities, the monk is worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect, and incomparable field of merit to the world. So let's look at the individual 9 virtues of the Sangha. Supatipano, right? The disciples of the Blessed One practice the threefold path of liberation, consisting the morality, the sila, concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, which is the right or the perfect way to attain nibbana. So let's look at the word Sanghanussati. Sangha is the community, monastic, assembly of monks. Anusati is recollection or remembrance or recalling to mind. So Sanghanussati is recollection of qualities of the community. So Su Patipano, Su is a prefix, right? Is well, easy, right, good, thoroughly. Patipano is practicing for or literally gone along, right? Going along. Supatipano means practice well, well conducted, the good way. So we see, right, which is the right or the perfect way or the good way to attain nibbana. Savaka Sangho, as I mentioned just now, is a hearer or listener, a disciple or community. So there, I'm sure you're familiar with this chart, the threefold training. So the eightfold path, right? So from right view, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. And these eightfold noble path is divided into the threefold training, which is the sila, samadhi, apanya. Okay, so this is the noble eightfold, threefold training. So the next one is Uju Patipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. The disciple of the Blessed One practice straightforwardly the threefold path, which is the middle path that avoids the 2 extremes of sensual pleasures and self-mortification. Practice of this path will lead one straight to the state of Nibbana and liberation from the circle of death and rebirth. So at one time, the Buddha was staying near Benares, right? In the Deer Park at Isipatthana, there the Buddha addressed the group of 5 mendicants. So this is the sutta. It says mendicants. These 2 extremes should not be cultivated by one who has gone forth. What 2? Indulgence in self-pleasures, which is low, crude, ordinary, ignoble, and pointless. And indulgence in self-mortification, which is painful, ignoble, and pointless. So this is where you got from the sutta, right? So now, Uju here means Uju is straight, upright, or direct. Patipano means practicing for or literally going along with it. So, and then what is the middle way of practice, right? So again, the middle way is simply the Noble Eightfold Path, so the right view and so on and so forth, right? So this is that the middle way of practice. This middle way of practice gives vision, knowledge, and leads to peace, direct knowledge, and awakening. The third one is Naya Patipano. So what is Naya here? So Naya means method, system, means, or way. Patipano, again, practicing, going along. So the root of suffering in the Buddha's Buddhist term is craving. So the disciples of the Blessed One practice to realize Nibbana, conduct or practice of the threefold path or the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? So to practice the Noble Path is to gain insight into the way things are with the aim of realizing Nibbana. So what is Nibbana? In the Ananda Sutta, AN 3.32, this is peaceful, this is sublime. That is the stilling of all activities, right? So Nibbana, as you know, is not a location. It is the stilling of all activities in the mental cultivation, the letting go of all attachment, the ending of craving, fading away, cessation, and extinguishment. Okay. Then in the Nakasika Sutta, the tip of the fingernail, SN 13.1. So approaching total freedom from dukkha, the Blessed One, picking up a little bit of dust with the tip of his fingernail, said to the monks, "What do you think, monks? Which is greater, the little bit of dust I have picked up with the tip of my fingernail, or the greater earth?" Right? So compare to the earth. And he picked up a few dust, and some dust remained at the tip of the finger. So he said, "Which is greater?" So he replied, "The great earth is far greater." The bhikkhu said, "Obviously, the earth is much greater. The little bit of dust Blessed One has picked up with the tip of his fingernail is next to nothing. It's not 100,000 or 100,000. This little bit of dust the Blessed One has picked up with the tip of the fingernail when compared with the great earth." Right? So meaning to say that the four stages of awakening. This is going through the awakening stages. So if you have already attained that, that is even much better than coming back to the world of samsara. Right? So it's better to become a sotapanna, right? Coming back 7 lifetime, right? Is still much better than coming back to this cycle of birth over and over again, 100,000 times, few 100,000 times. So what's the meaning of this, the tip of the fingernail? Samichi Patipano Bhagavato, right? So again, Samichi means right way, correct course, right? Proper procedure. Tipano, again, practicing, going along. So in here, the disciples of the Blessed One practice to be worthy of veneration, right? Worthy of veneration. The Sangha has practiced the proper way, Samichi, proper way, dutiful conduct, proper way, because it has practiced the way of those who are worthy of proper acts. So the 4 pairs of the noble person are, right? So again, you remember this. And over here, some terminology. Arhanta, as you know, is full enlightenment. Anagami, non-returning. Sakadagami, once returning. Sotapatti, stream entry. And Puthajjana. Now, Puthajjana is any unenlightened worldlings, right? So Arya is noble. Anarya is not noble, right? Noble. So in this sutta, MN 151, Pindapatta Parisuddhi Sutta, or the purification of alms food. So just very quickly, you can read about this at your own. So because we have some more slides to go, so this is just some sutta to tell you about the training, how you train. Right? So, but suppose that upon checking, a medicant knows that there was no such desire or greed or hate or delusion or repulsion in their heart, they should meditate with rapture and joy, training day and night in skillful qualities. So this is all about the proper conduct, the proper training, right? So the 5, Anuneo, the worthy of offerings. Being worthy of receiving offerings brought even from afar. These disciples are worthy of gifts, not only the basic requisite of a monastic. What are the 4 basic requisites? They are the food, clothing, robes, medicine, and shelter. But also anything else that recognizes the achievement and value to the world. What are recognizes the achievements? They give Dharma talks, right? So this is also another achievements. A gift, sacrifice, ahuna is what one brings that is fit for offering. Here, offering means sacrificing, meaning what is brought from afar and worthy of being given to the morally virtuous. Who are the morally virtuous? Obviously, the Sangha community. A name given for the 4 requisites. Right? They are worthy of giving food, robes, medicine, and lodgings. The Sangha is worthy of receiving the gift because it makes it bears great fruits. Thus, it is worthy of offerings. So this is another Dhammapada, verse 107, the story of Thera Sariputta's nephew. Okay, I'm going to read this very quickly. On one occasion, Venerable Sariputta Thera asked his nephew, a Brahmin, whether he was doing any meritorious deeds. Right? See, he's carrying a wild boar here. His nephew answered that he had been sacrificing a goat. No, it's not a wild boar, it's a goat. Sacrificing a goat in fire worship every month, hoping to get to the Brahma world in his next existence. Venerable Sariputta Thera then explained to him that his teachers had given him false hopes and that they themselves did not know the way to the Brahma world. So this is wrong view. Then he took his nephew, the young Brahmin, to the Buddha. Then the Buddha taught him the Dhamma, the right way that would lead one to the Brahmin world, and said to the Brahmin, young Brahmin, paying homage to the bhikkhus for a moment would be far better than making sacrifices in fire worship 100 years. Then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. For 100 years, a man may tend the sacred fire in the forest. Yet if, only for a moment, one pays homage to a bhikkhu who has practiced insight development, this homage is indeed better than 100 years of making sacrifice in fire worship. So at the end of the discourse, Brahmin, who was Venerable Sariputta Thera's nephew, attained Sotapatti fruition. So in the Dhammapada verse 107, right? So it says for same, right? So it goes the same. That's the verse. The next one, Dakineyo is worthy of gifts. So being worthy of receiving offering offered with the belief that the offering will bear fruits in future existence. They are also worthy of offerings such as paying respect or by verbal praise or by traditional offering of flowers, offering of food, offering of fruit juice or likes, right? As in done throughout the Buddhist land across Asia and beyond. What is offered out of faith by devotee with the expectation of receiving benefits in the future lives is called a gift. If the Sangha is worthy of that gift, or it is helpful to that giving because it purifies it, making it a great fruit, thus it is worthy of gifts. Dakineyo. Dakina specifically refers to offering made for the benefits of the departed by way of dedication of marriage to them. Dakina is a teacher's honorarium. Dakina also means the right side. Hence, one keeps one right side to the object of respect when saluting or taking leave. As in the phrase, right? Padakinang karoti. In the Orient, it is also the right hand which one offers things. Right? So we offer with the right hand, and when we want to leave, any Buddha statue or any monks, we go by the right side. Anjali Karaniyo, right? Being worthy of receiving referential salutation. Salutation with the lotus palms, as you can see from this picture rendition of the lotus palm. When one recollects the virtues of the Sangha in this way, the Blessed One's community of disciples who have practiced well, who have practiced straightforwardly, and so on, then his mind is not obsessed by lust, not obsessed by hate, not obsessed by delusion. Right? In essence, the three evil roots, Loba, Dosa, Moha. At that time, his mind is straight, inspired by the Sangha. His experiences joy, calmness, ease, and concentration. So this you can read more in the Mahanama Sutta in AN 11.13. So the last one, Anuttaram Punyaketam Lokasati. So being an unsurpassed, incomparable, fertile field, right? Keta is a field, fertile field. Now ketam here, punya ketam. So ketam is a field, right? For planting the seeds of marriage in the world. Through the excellent lives of the noble beings, give rise to incomparable goodness and virtue to arise in the world, not to mention the manifestation of the wisdom of the Dhamma. Keta, as I mentioned, is the field, the fertility and plenty. That is, the efficacious spiritual benefits of supporting the noble disciple as a community of individuals. The Sangha is an incomparable place in all the world for growing the world merits. For the various kinds of merits bring welfare and happiness for the world, depending on the purity of the Sangha. Therefore, the Sangha is a supreme field of merits for the world. So this is just some explanation of what does it mean, an incomparable field of merits to the world. So that concludes the 9 virtues of the Sangha. So some of the past year's exams, questions, you can see here in 2020, right? What are the 9 virtues of Sangha? Explain briefly these virtues and illustrate with incidents from the lives of the Buddha disciples. Not done yet with this presentation, there are a few more, but to give you the question on the 9 virtues of Sangha at this point of time. So in 2019, there is no question on the 9 virtues of Sangha, but in 2018, there is one question, but at the same time, it asked to elaborate the role of the Sangha. Then in 2017, also asked the virtues of the Sangha, but this time, explain these virtues briefly and illustrate the incidents from the lives of the Buddha, of the disciples. Now we're going to look at this, yeah? So when you come across such questions, right? So these are some examples. What are the 9 virtues of Sangha? Now, for this question, you can pick up from my previous slides just now, the 9 virtues of the Sangha, very briefly. But this question also asks, explain briefly these virtues and illustrates with incidents from the lives of the Buddha disciples. Right? So here I'm going to give you some examples. What are the lives of the Sangha? Here, Venerable Moggallana's full awakening. So Venerable Moggallana, as you know, he is one of the chief disciples. His counterpart, Venerable Sariputta. He went into solitude, chose as his abode the forest near the village of Kalawala Putta in Magadha. Right? So after they have entered the order of monks, right? So Venerable Moggallana, he went into the forest, and whereas Venerable Sariputta followed the Buddha. So what happened to Venerable Moggallana? So with great zeal, right? So he meditated there while sitting or walking up and down. But in these efforts, he was overcome by sleepiness. It is not that Venerable Moggallana was lazy, right? Remember, before they met Buddha or Venerable Asaji, both of them has been searching for a good spiritual teacher. They have walked all over India, I suppose. So at the end of the awakening, or rather, after meeting up with Venerable Asaji, so they have come to a place where they are able to learn the teaching, once and for all. So I can imagine, it's like, their battery has really, utilized. So it's very very tiring for them. So the awakened one did not lose sight of him. So remember, yeah, Buddha already said, told the bhikkhus, bhikkhus, here comes my future two chief disciples. He already predicted them. So the awakened one always did not lose sight of him. With his super normal vision, he perceived the difficulties of this monk, this Venerable Moggallana, and he appeared before him. And when Venerable Moggallana saw the master standing before him, a good part of his fatigue has already vanished. So when he saw the master, he already, he's awakened already. So then, very strictly, the Buddha said, "Are you nodding, Moggallana? Are you nodding?" Then, of course, he said truthfully, "Yes, Lord, I'm nodding." Right? So he's nodding, very sleepy. So after the awakened one had instructed him on the overcoming of sleepiness, so the Buddha taught him how to overcome the sleepiness and the avoidance of excitement, restlessness. Venerable Moggallana asked the following questions: In what way, O Lord, can it be briefly explained how a monk becomes liberated by the elimination of craving? How he becomes one who has reached the final end, the final security from bondage, the final holy life, the final consummation, and is foremost among God's end. Then, herein, Moggallana, a monk has learned this. No thing is fit to be clung. No thing is fit to be clung to. When a monk has learned that no thing is fit to be clung to, he fully knows everything. By knowing everything, he fully comprehends everything. When fully comprehend everything, and the sutta continues. No thing is fit to mean no grasping of things. Grasping on what? So, aided by instruction, he could free himself from these last fetters and attain to perfect deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom. In all his fullness and depth, thus, Moggallana had become of the same. He admitted that he could well say about himself that supported by the master discipline may in the great state of the superknowledges. Moggallana, as he later attained sainthood, penetration. So Moggallana attained quick penetration. In Pali, it said Kippabina. That is, in 1 week's time, he already arahantship. But very don't prompting Sankara master. So obviously the master is the Buddha, and the Buddha has helped him a lot. Within a short period, within 1 week, and he obtained. And this is where you can also look at the Panchalaya Sutta, nodding, AN 7.58. Once the Blessed One was living among the Bhagas. Bhagas is one of the people in the area, in the deer park at Bisakala Grove. At that time, Venerable Moggallana sat nodding near the village, so and so forth. So as soon as you saw, so fast forward, the Buddha said, "Are you nodding, Moggallana? Are you nodding?" So he said, "Well done, Moggallana. Whatever mind, when drowsiness descend on you, attend to that perception. Don't pursue it. It's possible that by doing so, then it regain. First one is that you have heard it and memorize it, re-examine it, and your mind. The third, if this doesn't work, the third, then read aloud in detail the Dharma as you heard and memorize it. And if this does not work, then go your loops, rub your limbs with your hand. If this does not work again, then get up from your seat, and after washing your eyes out with water, look around all and upward to the major star constellation. And if this does not work, then tend to the perception of light, resolve to the perception of daylight. Meditate, dwelling by night as by day, and by day as by night, right? by means of an awareness thus open and unhampered, develop brightened mind. But if this does not work again, then what? Perception of what lies in front and behind, set a distance to meditate, walking back and forth, your senses inwardly immersed, your mind not staying outwards. So, but if by doing this you don't shake off your drowsiness, then as soon as you wake up, get up quickly with the thought, I won't stay indulging in the pleasure of lying down, pleasure of reclining, the pleasure of drowsiness. That is how you should train yourself. Furthermore, for Galana, you should train yourself. So then you can continue with the sutta. So that's how the master, the teacher, Buddha, taught Moggallana, right? So this is how one of the virtues of the bhikkhus, of the monk. Now another question is, say, what are the 9 virtues of the Sangha? Again, you answer the 9 virtues of the Sangha and explain briefly these virtues and illustrate with incident the lives of the Buddha. Another one. I've heard, and this is the incident on Bahiya Sutta. Bahiya Sutta is under the Udana 1.10, translated by Venerable Thanissaro Bhikkhu. I've heard that on one occasion, the Blessed One was staying near Sawati, Ananda monastery. On that occasion, Bahiya of the bark cloth was living in Suparaka by the seashore. He was worshipped, revered, honored, venerated, and given homage, a recipient of robes, alms, food, lodging, medical requisite for the sick. Right? So people were giving alms to him. Then, when he was alone in seclusion, this line of thinking appeared to his awareness. Now, of all those who in this world are arahats or have entered the path of arahantship, am I one? So he thought to himself, am I an arahant? So he thought he was an arahant. Then a devata who had once been a blood relative of Bahiya of the bark cloth. So the deva said, compassionate, desiring his welfare, knowing with her own awareness the line of thinking that had arisen in his awareness, went to him and on arrival said to him, so this deva, out of compassion, told this Bahiya, you, Bahiya, are neither an arahant, nor have you entered the path of arahantship. You don't even have the practice whereby you would become an arahant, enter the path of arahantship. Then Bahiya said, then who in this world with these devas are arahant or have entered the path of arahantship? Then the deva replied, Bahiya, there is a city in the northern country near Sati. There, Blessed One, an arahant, rightly self-awakened, is living now. He truly is an arahant and teaches the Dhamma leading to arahantship. So what happened? Then Bahiya, deeply chastened by the devata, left Suparaka right then, and in the space of one night, so urgently, he went all the way to where the Blessed One was staying near Sawati at Jeta Grove, Ananda Pindika monastery. Now, on that occasion, a large number of monks were doing walking meditation in the open air. He went to them on arrival, said, where, Venerable Sir, is the Blessed One, the rightly awakened, now staying? We want to see the one. Into town for alms. Then Bahiya, hurriedly leaving Jeta Grove and entered Sawati, saw the Blessed One going forth alms in Sawati, serene and inspired, confidence calming, his sense peace, his mind at peace, having attained the utmost tranquility and poise, tame, guarded, his senses restrained, great one, Naga. Seeing him, he approached the Blessed One, and reaching him, threw himself down with his head at the blessed foot and said, teach me the Dhamma, O Blessed One, teach me the Dhamma, O One, well gone, that will be for my long-term welfare and peace. When this was said, the Blessed One said to him, this is not the right time, but we have entered the town hall. A second time by the Blessed One, it is hard to know for sure what dangers there may be for the Blessed One's life, or what dangers there may be for mine. Teach me Dharma, O Blessed One, teach me the Dharma. O well God, that will be for my long-term welfare and bliss. The second time, the Blessed One said to him, this is not the time, Bahia. We have entered the time for alms. The third time, but asked again, right? But this time, then the Buddha said, Bahia, you should train yourself thus. Okay, so in reference to the seen, there will only be the seen. In reference to the heard, only the heard. In reference to the sense, only the sense. In reference to the cognized, only the cognized. That is how you should train yourself. When for you, there will be only the seen in reference to the seen, only heard in reference to heard, only the sense in reference to the sense, only the cognized in reference to the cognized. Then Bahia, there is no you in connection with that. And there is no you in connection with that. There is no you there. Where there is no you there, you are neither here nor yonder, nor between the two. This just is the end of stress. Oh, this short little stanza, right? Hearing this brief explanation, Dharma from the mind, the plot right there, and then was released from influence through lack of sustenance. So he was already, all his defilement, he already released, no grasping. Having extorted Hiya with his explanation, blessed one left. Now, so the blessed one continued with the arms. Now, not after the one departure, Bahia was attacked and killed by a cow with a young calf. The blessed one, having gone for alms in Sawati, after the meal, returning from his alms, round with a large number of monks, saw the Bahaya died. On seeing him, blessed one said to the monks, right? So obviously the monks told the incident to the Buddha, and the blessed one said, Bahiya's body, monks, placing it on the altar and carrying it and built him a memorial stupa. Your companion, right, in the holy life has died. Companion, Arahana, responding, as you say, Lord, to the monks placing Bahiya's body and cremated him. I went to the Blessed One. On arrival, bowed to him and sat to one side. And after sitting, they asked him, Bahiya's body has cremated, and his memorial has been. What is his destination? What is his future state? Buddha responded, Monk, Bahiya of the bark plot was wise. He practiced the Dharma in accordance with the Dharma, and he did not have me issues related to the Dharma. Bahiya of the bark plot monks is totally unbound. Right? So he has released, right? He has gone to Arahant. So in a way, that Bahiya is not as simple as that. And from all the talks I have listened, he has been from his he already practiced true. And when this short stanza came to him, and obviously with the Buddha's psychic power, he's able to understand the short stanza. And that's how Bahiya has been liberated, listening to a very short stanza by us. Then on realizing this, the Blessed One on the occasion exclaimed to the where water, earth, fire, and wind have no footing, there the stars don't shine, the sun isn't visible, there the moon doesn't appear, there darkness is not found. And when a sage, Brahman, to Sanghanussati, has realized this for himself, then from form and formless, from bliss and pain, he is freed. So these are going to the 4 stages of awakening. And then, lastly, elaborate on the role of Sangha as a field of merit, as another example to the like Siha Sutta. I've heard that one occasion, the Blessed One was staying with Sali, the great forest, at the great pavilion. Then the Jan Siha went to the Blessed One, and on arrival, having bowed to him, and sat next to him, and sitting, he said to the Blessed One, possible God to fruit of generosity. And now, it is possible, Siha. One who gives, one who is master of giving, is dear and people at large. And the fact one who is generous, a master of giving, is dear and charming to the people at large. This is the fruit of generosity visible in here and now. Right, this is a sutta about generosity. You can get it from AN 5.34. Right, so generosity to the blessed one. As for the four fruits of visible in the here and now that have been pointed out by the blessed one,
brother and sister, Rachel line is cut off. She just called me, thunderstorm over the other side, and she will try to sign in again. Okay, while we are waiting for the teacher, can we do a poll right now? So in Paticca Samuppada, what caused the Sankhara? The correct answer is avijja. Avijja is the correct one. Okay, Buddha preached, if anyone does not support his own parent, she is known as outcast. What is the name of the sutta? Okay, shall I end now? Okay, the answer is Vasala Sutta, not the Prabhava Sutta. Prabhava Sutta is the downfall. Vasala Sutta is the correct one. It's the outcast. Okay, Buddha predicted Venerable Devadatta will become Pacceka Buddha in the future by the name of okay, B, 6 out of 9 correct. Vipassi is wrong. That is past Buddha. Vipassi is past. Sikhi also past. Kongagamana also the past Buddha. The future, the future Buddha, the Pacceka Buddha is the Atisara. The Sakadami has cultivated deeper insight and has weakened. I think we just stopped just now only.
right.
Okay, answer is B. Sotapanna has already cultivated and abundance, self-delusion and doubt, but the other Sakadami is the same, but still weak on the sense, pressure, and evil. So B is the correct. Okay, in Samatati, one has to be aware of. The answer is B. Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, and Dhamma. So you got to be mindful of your body, the feeling, and the mind, and the Dhamma.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, B is the correct one. And today we got 5. And next week, no poll. And the following week again, then I will do a few more poll because next week I won't be around.
Yeah. Sorry about the disconnection of my internet because over here, thunder lightning, so my internet got disconnected. Right, so apologize again. Okay, so just now we continue with the Siha Sutta. Right, as I mentioned, that this Siha Sutta is about the generosity. Yeah. Okay, wait. All right, so I stopped here just now. So the Buddha say, so it is Siha, so it is. At the breakup of the body after death, one who gives, one who is a master of giving, reappears in good destination in the heavenly world. So this is in the Siha Sutta AN 5.34. So this is another question that, you know, in the exam, past year's exam paper. Elaborate on the role of the Sangha as a field of merit. So how to answer this? Also this is a story about Mahakassapa and a poor old woman's offering. Right. So this story is about in Sawati. There was a poor woman, right, who had neither relatives nor home. Once she was seriously ill and laid in the open air. Sometimes when servants of a rich family happened to pour beside her the water used for rinsing rice, she would use a piece of tile to collect the dirty water for drinking. So Mahakassapa felt pity for her and paid a visit to her. The old lady was surprised to see him and said, I am in extreme poverty. No one else in this country is poorer than me. Isn't there any person in this world giving offerings to the monks? Why do you come to see me? You should instead try to save me from poverty. So the old woman told Mahakassapa. Then Mahakassapa replied, no one in this world is more dignified and benevolent than the Buddha or his disciples. I am here to save you in poverty. I have thought of helping you to meet your material needs, but material goods can only save you for a time being, and you will become poorer in the future. It would be better if you offer anything to me so that you can accumulate merits for your future life and be reborn in a wealthy family or in the heavenly realms. So as you can see from this sutta incident, so this poor old woman, right, thinking that the monks, I'm such in a poor, destitute, I'm such in a poor state. Why would you want to come, and see me? I've got nothing. So the Mahakassapa said, I'm here to help you, not by giving you material goods, because as a monk, I don't even have any material goods, right? But I can help you suddenly accumulate merits. This is for your future life. Your present life is already a destitute, a beggar. But in your future life, right, you can be reborn in a wealthy family by doing wholesome things. So, but the old woman could not find anything to offer, and she cried sadly, I have neither food nor clothes to offer to you. One who has the will to give alms is not a poor man. One who has a sense of shamefulness is the follower of Buddha. You possess these two rare treasures in the world. Hence, you are not poor at all. Those rich people who do not give alms and are shameless are the most ignorant and the poorest men. So trying to compare the rich people, even the rich people, if they don't give alms, they are shameless. They are the most ignorant. Even though they have material goods, they are rich, but they're still poor. So the old woman has in great joy upon hearing the teachings of Mahakassapa, and she cherished much hopes for the future. She offered Mahakassapa the water used for rinsing rice. Mahakassapa drank it before her, and her heart was filled with happiness. Not long after that, this old woman passed away and entered the Deva realm. Due to the merits of offering water to Mahakassapa, she became a beautiful Deva. Once she recalled her good karma and the kindness of Mahakassapa, hence she descended from the heavens and spread flowers on Mahakassapa. Right? That's how this beautiful story about, giving merits. Yeah? So just to recap on the Sanghanussati, recollection of the qualities of the Arya Sangha. So the one that you need to know is these Supatipano, Ujupatipano, Nayapatipano, Samichipatipano, so on and so forth. Huh? So I have given you the details about each of the qualities. Right. So in answering to the question about explain on the 9 virtues of the Sangha, that may be the right approach. So then now the posture questions, right? Explain 9 virtues of the Sangha, elaborate the role of the Sangha as a field of merit. So just now, you have given you a couple of stories about Siha, the Sutta, the generosity, and also the Mahakassapa and the poor old woman. So you may want to write some short story about that, how you relate. First thing, the 9 virtues of the Sangha, and then, a bit information on the role of the Sangha, and also explain briefly on the virtues from the incidents, the lives of the Buddha. In this question, you can find that the question appeared 2018, 2021, and 2022. So what do you think about 2023? Yeah. But if that is a question on the 9 virtues, that will simply be the same question. And then 2017 and 2020, it looks like similar question were asked. All right. So from all my presentations, right, you can look at all the resources that I have gathered. The way you look at it is the first line. You can see the Buddha in his teachings by Venerable Narada Mahathera. I got it from buddhanet.com. This is the name. The second one is HTTP, the website browser. It is the same. Right, so I just want, if I put HTTP here, you may not understand or you may not know the header. But the first line is the topic, the first line topic, and then these are the resources that I managed to gather. Okay, so with that, I would like to conclude my presentations. So if I may, do the closing, right? And let us repeat the Buddha Sasanang Chiram Titatu, Buddha Sasanang Chiram Titatu, Buddha Sasanang Chiram Titatu. What this means is, may the Buddha's dispensation endure long. Right? So we say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, brother and sisters, Brother T, I have completed my presentation. I hope it is not, too boring for you. I know it's a little bit wordy.
Question, if you have.
Yeah, if you have any questions.
Or if you're shy to ask, then you can type.
Yeah. Or anything, you just reflect back. And if you have any question, you can WhatsApp me. I have one sister early on, you say that if you, I applaud your initiative because after every sessions, you wanted to do a short essay and you would like to forward to me to take a look. I have no problems on that, but make sure that whatever you have written down, right, be sure that you try and complete it as how you would present it during the exam days. You know what I mean? Right? So the way I look at it is, now you have to write how many questions? You have to complete 5 questions. Is that right, Brother T? Question paper.
You mean the essay one, is it?
Yeah, essay one.
Essay actually for Sangha itself, they will ask you 3 or 4 questions, then you got to answer only one.
Answer only
3 questions.
Oh yeah,
you
which is true.
The one that you know.
Yeah, correct. So because you have other topics
like
as
they
well.
ask you about the virtue of Sangha, and they ask you about the biography of Sariputta, and then also Moggallana. Then you just choose one that you are good on that, then or the shortest one, the easiest one, then you choose the one to answer.
Right. Because I do understand that you have other topics as well.
Virtue of Dharma, virtue of Buddha. These 3 are very popular one.
Yeah.
Popular.
Right. So I do understand in the exam questions, you have other topics as well. So you pick one of it, pick one from part A, B, and C or something like that. So if you were to answer one question, my approach is be sure that you're able to write within maybe one question, you allocate about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. And this is what I do, or my former, teacher, taught us. First thing, you can type or you can write your understanding of this topic. For example, this topic of the 9 virtues. So whatever is presented to you, you just write without any hesitation, write with understanding. And then after which, now, if you do type, it's better because then you're able to count the number of words. Then you transfer that, you transfer whatever you have written down with understanding and you handwrite. And you think you can handwrite it within that 20 minutes, then you are good to go. But if you're not able to write within the 20 minutes, whatever you have typewritten, your essay format for this topic, then you should scale it down, right? Like, for example, the first one is 800 words. You scale it down to 600 words, and then you write again and you time and see if you can write within the 20-25 minutes. And if you can do so, that would be your ideal approach, your ideal answer for a particular question. If you don't do that, right, and you come to the very, very last minute, I'm afraid you're going to have a challenge. So with that essay that you are very sure that maybe your essay is 600 words a minute, when you can handwrite within the 20-25 minutes, that and all the facts are correct, that would be your topic for this question, and you memorize it. And I did that one more step. After I have done my essay, right, I record it. I record in my own recording. Then I replay. Like, for example, you can put in your car, while you're driving, instead of listening to music, you listen to your own, own presentation. You listen and you listen and you listen, and it will goes into your head. You get what I mean? Write your essay, whatever you can by the means, then look at it, how many words a minute. Then you try and handwrite. But you have to time starting now. Now I'm going to write this question. You write and see whether you can finish all within the 20-25 minutes. If you can't, then you have to scale down your notes. Scale down your notes, meaning you don't miss out the facts. Scale down your notes, meaning to say that you comprise it, you put it into shorter notes. You get what I mean? After that, then you write again and you time. And this time, if you can do it within the 20-25 minutes, right, then you're good to go. Then closer to the exam time, what I've done is I bought some exercise book. I just write during my free time. I write and write and write until I get it right. Then when the exam day come, when the question pop up, then you will see, this question, I'm good to go. Then your flow of thoughts will be very smooth. And if you don't practice it, you don't rehearse this, even though you may know the answer on that day, panic will arise. When your panic is not because you may not know the answer. Panic is because so many things to answer, so many things to go and do, right? Objective lah, subjective lah, and things like that. So this is a preparation work, right? So I hope that this piece piece of good advice is helpful to you.
Sorry, Sister Rachel.
Yes, Sister Chai Hoon, yes.
Yeah, it is not have to write or have to key in one. It's have to write, is it? Right, then we scan the answer. I thought we key in. Sorry.
No. If you're good, sorry, Sister Chai Hoon, if you're good in typing, you type out your notes. Okay, you type out your notes. If you don't even have a typewriter, it's okay.
Exam time.
Oh no, exam time, Brother T, I think it's handwritten,
No. Exam is everything online.
But it's handwritten, isn't it? Essay. The exam in the essay form is handwritten, it's not typewritten.
It's text. You got to type essay.
We write online and we submit online as well.
Yeah, submit online. Yes.
We don't write handwriting. No.
No handwriting. No handwriting.
Online.
Online means you type.
Yeah.
Yes, we type.
Online, you type.
Wow, so good. Can type one. Last time I cannot type one. Must handwrite one.
No. You have to. Nowadays, I think since the lockdown, they don't no more writing really.
Oh, no more writing. Oh, last time I have to write. No typing. They don't allow us to type.
It was, but 3 or 4 years ago they started online already.
Oh, good. Okay, fine. So even typing is even better. If you can type fast.
When the things start ready, then you go in. And then the objective, the first one, you just click the 20 you just click, then you submit. And for the essay one, you can tap. But every time you tap one paragraph, you keep saving the thing. If you don't save, sometimes you lost it.
Oh,
but you don't submit. You tap, then you save. You tap, you save. You can keep editing, keep doing, but you gotta keep saving. By the time you finish everything ready, and then you save, and then you go to the next one. For example, like you do the Sangha, the next one is Dhamma. Then you tap the Sangha, the Dhamma. Then you finish ready, and then you do the Buddha. Then you finish ready, and then you say you keep saving. You have to keep saving. You know. By the time you do the lay Buddhist practice, you finish ready. Everything done, the 3 essay complete ready. Then only you submit.
Okay, good.
Once
So,
you submit,
Sister
Can we go back to the, let's say we write already, maybe we want to, I think, is it possible? Can write?
yes. You can keep, as long as you not submit, you have not submit yet, you save, you can edit one.
Okay.
Okay. So now I understand. So, Sister Chai Hon, to answer your question, if you want to submit to me for, just to take a look, no problem. Then it's better. Instead of now that I understood that it's typewritten, so you type and then you manage your time. You time
You
yourself.
have to go to the exam center and write it there, sit there and write there. Now no more already.
So now practice your typing, okay? For those who are not so familiar,
Try
do
to
practice
keep it
typing.
short as possible, but make sure the point, the important, don't miss the important point.
Right. Absolutely. So that is the point, Okay.
If you cannot write an essay, the worst come to worst, you can put in point form. That's the work. That's the what you can do lah. But sometimes you cannot do that.
Okay, it's just like answering the 9 virtues of the. Okay, what if they ask what are the 9 virtues of Sangha? All right, so you can put you list down. If I'm in a situation, I will list down. From the Supatipano or blah in English. If I don't think so, you need to write in Pali, isn't it? Right. So in
up to you. You want to put English together with the and supported with the Pali, that would be better point for you lah.
Oh, okay. Bonus
Then you do both lah.
Okay lah. So then you write down all the 9 virtues. Write down all the 9 virtues first. At least you can give the examiner that I understood the 9 points. Then after that, you do later summary. Number 1, Supatipano. That you express like what Brother T say. Use point number 1. Then you put the bullet point. What are the what is Supatipano means? Blah 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 and so on and so forth. Like Su becomes good, Uju straightforward. Think short lah. Keep it short.
For example, like this quality of Buddha, you put the 9 quality there. After you type the 9 first. After that, then you write make it slightly longer, and then eventually they will ask you to elaborate with some story there.
Yes.
For example, he's the teacher of God, Dewa, and then you can write. Buddha went to Tawatimsa to teach the mother. He's a teacher to the God. And then Lord Saka came, sent people at night to come and seek advice from him. That is
absolutely. I think that is a good approach, Brother T. Thanks for sharing that. Similarly, as what Brother T say, it's a question on the 9 virtues. Okay, see the question, 9 virtues. Okay, question on the 9 virtues. So first thing first, do all the 9 virtues. And then after that, you explain in the subheader. You explain all the 9. And then if they ask you to elaborate, illustrate incident, then you can say story of Mahakassapa and the poor old woman. Right? Then the short. Then you complete 1 question. Right, Brother T?
Yeah. Try to make it a point form first, then they make it slightly longer, and then you want to add story, then you have 10, then you do lah. Don't have 10, then you skip lah.
Yeah. So that should be the way.
Then you could skip a lot of things.
And if you're not able to finish,
at least you get the point already, but not the full point. But you can still pass, not the distinction. No, never mind lah.
My professor was telling us during the time I was doing exam, if you have 5 questions and each question you allocated about 20-25 minutes, but if you are not able to finish 1 question with that 25 minutes, don't continue. Stop whatever you have a question, move on to the next question. Then if you have completed the next question and you have more time, you go back to complete where you left off. Because otherwise, instead of answering, 5 questions, you took all the time to answer only 4 questions and you got one one question left out. So at least you spread up your marks. It's not too difficult. Hopefully. Okay. All right. So any other questions that you have? Next week, we will be doing the Venerable Ananda as well as Mahapajapati Gautami and the Bhikkhuni order. Okay. So we will combine these three together.
Because Bhikkhuni and Ananda is related one.
There are three aspects all related. What do you call it? Mahapajapati Gautami, right? And then of course the Bhikkhuni order and Ananda. Yeah, they are related.
If you have
all right,
please ask now before we end.